Hello everyone. Welcome back to the Wisdom Palmistry channel, where we share palmistry signs sent from all over the world via email. Today, we will analyze a woman's hand sample to discover special aspects related to destiny, health, and love life. If this is your first time visiting the channel, don't forget to hit subscribe to support us in continuing to create more useful videos. Share this video with your loved ones and friends to spread interesting knowledge about physiognomy. Now, let's start today's video. First, looking at the overall hand, we can see that you have a fairly long hand. However, there is a notable feature on this hand. Your hand is relatively thin, while your palm is much larger and longer than your fingers. Typically, people with longer palms than fingers tend to be highly practical and realistic. At the same time, they have a strong sense of self. In work and life, you always show a clear sense of leadership. You dislike being imposed upon by others and always want to make your own decisions and maintain control in all situations. Additionally, your hand has an important sign. The headline is straight and separates from the lifeline very early. This is a characteristic of the triple palm. People whose headline and lifeline are separate like this often have a strong will and are not easily subdued by difficulties. They tend to be independent and aspire to build their own careers rather than working for others. With this hand type, you are an extroverted person who enjoys communication and has a tendency towards business and trade. You are suited for jobs that offer flexibility and are not restricted by rigid structures. Notably, your thumb is quite long and straight, combined with a phoenix eye pattern located on the thumb. This is a sign of intelligence, keen perception, and a strong belief in spirituality. The combination of these factors indicates that you highly value spiritual matters. You live with a sense of morality, know how to treat people well, and always respect human values and spiritual principles. Because of this, if you pursue business, you will not only be a skilled trader but also prioritize ethics, always considering the well-being of your customers and those around you. Furthermore, your lifeline has a remarkable feature. It is wide and curves towards the center of the wrist. This line also fully embraces the mount of Venus, indicating that you have good physical strength and the ability to maintain long-term health. With such characteristics, you are likely to have a long life and physical sustainability. Currently, your hand has a notable sign in the area of the mount of Mars. This mount appears somewhat uneven, reflecting a cautious personality that dislikes taking risks. You tend to carefully consider decisions, avoiding unnecessary dangers. Besides that, your little finger is slightly shorter than the adjacent phalange. This feature often indicates that you are not inclined to confide or express too much. Although outwardly, you may appear extroverted, cheerful, and sociable, internally, you are quite reserved. You do not easily reveal your true thoughts, and sometimes you may say one thing while thinking another. This can make people around you find you difficult to understand, somewhat private and mysterious. Therefore, expressing yourself more clearly will help you gain more opportunities for success in life. Additionally, your hand has another feature, which is the lunar mount. This mount has many ridges and depressions, indicating that your health needs attention, especially issues related to blood pressure, or women's health problems. Reproductive-related illnesses may also occur, so you should pay more attention to your health. Regarding love and relationships, a bumpy lunar mount is also a sign that you may face many disadvantages in love matters. In your family life, you may have grown up in a family that was not very close-knit or lacked care from relatives. This can influence the way you build relationships later in life. Another important sign on your hand is the fate line, which develops from within the lifeline, then crosses and rises upward. This line reflects that your life is primarily built by yourself, without relying on or depending on anyone. This is a trait of strong-willed, resilient, and self-reliant individuals. Moreover, you have a triple palm, where the headline and lifeline separate very early. People with this sign often have strong personalities, like to strive independently from a young age, and tend to be stubborn and hard to persuade. As they grow up, they have a strong inclination toward independence and taking control of their own lives. Because of this, your life may face many challenges. forcing you to pick yourself up and make significant efforts on your own. Finally, your fate line is somewhat faint and is crossed by many small lines. This indicates that your career path may encounter numerous challenges and is not always smooth, requiring a great deal of effort to achieve success. Additionally, your palm is not too concave but relatively flat. Combined with this, there is also a fish-shaped mark appearing between your fingers. This is one of the signs related to financial losses. Regarding career and reputation, you are not the type to achieve large-scale success but rather reach an average level. You also face many difficulties in earning money and supporting your family and life. Overall, this palm suggests a rather strenuous life. You have to go through many hardships and struggles to achieve success. As for wealth signs, your hand does indicate the potential to possess assets. Triangular shapes appearing on the Heartline are signs that you may accumulate wealth, but only at a moderate level, not too significant, and you must struggle a lot to achieve it. Additionally, your Heartline is relatively straight, but towards the end, it curves and extends into the webbing between your fingers. This indicates that you have a strong personality, even somewhat masculine in your youth. In both work and life, you do not like relying on others, have a strong sense of self, and prefer to handle things independently. Because of this, your life may be more challenging. You also tend to resist following advice from those around you. Overall, if you take on many responsibilities, your life will be quite difficult, requiring significant self-reliance. Another feature of this hand is that the Mercury mount is not particularly strong. This suggests that in terms of finances, you will have to work hard and struggle a lot in your early years. With this type of hand, you may start earning money at an early age, but financial difficulties will persist. However, this palm also suggests that you have the potential to be independent. This is reflected in the prominent mounts and intersecting lines, indicating signs of unexpected luck as well as strong organizational and managerial skills. Therefore, you are likely to succeed in small business ventures. Between the ages of 30 and 40, your headline shows multiple distinct breaks. This suggests that during this period, your career and professional path will undergo significant changes. At times, you may feel lonely and unable to share your burdens with others. You have a tendency to be self-sufficient, relying only on yourself rather than depending on others. Because of this, your midlife period may be quite challenging. Between the ages of 40 and 50, there is a tendency for development and progress. Your headline starts to curve upward slightly, indicating positive growth in later years. You are naturally inclined toward spirituality and interested in healing-related topics. At this stage, you may pursue careers or fields related to emotional and spiritual healing. Engaging in such work would be highly beneficial for you. Overall, this palm suggests that your youth is filled with struggles and responsibilities. However, as time progresses, your life will gradually stabilize. In your 40s and 50s, you will likely secure a stable job, but challenges will still arise, requiring you to remain strong to overcome them. It is best for you to go with the flow of time, doing everything slowly but surely. You are not the type of person who rushes, so stay calm and listen to the signals of the universe. If you learn to accept and adapt, everything will become smoother for you. In your later years, from the age of 55 onward, you will think a lot about healing-related matters. You may become more interested in spiritual practice, exploring human nature and inner self-discovery. Your palm also indicates a tendency to be drawn to these fields. Therefore, if you work in areas related to spirituality, healing, or mental guidance, this path will be very suitable for you. Another notable point is that your palm has many raised and uneven areas, neither too flat nor too rosy. This suggests that your health is not particularly strong. You should pay attention to issues related to the heart, blood pressure, or blood disorders. However, overall, your palm does not show any major health obstacles, so you do not need to worry too much about your life expectancy. Your fingers stand relatively straight, indicating a stable family life with support from loved ones. However, in terms of relationships, your palm shows some ups and downs. Between the ages of 30 and 35, There are many small lines cutting across the heartline, combined with a gap between two fingers, suggesting that your love life may face many storms. You also show signs of being prone to multiple marriages. Additionally, your marriage line tends to curve downward, indicating difficulties in romantic relationships. You are a deep thinker, and sometimes this affects your happiness in love. In later years, you tend to rely on the younger generation, possibly your children or grandchildren. You will also accumulate assets, ensuring a more stable life in old age. However, your straight thumb, with a large upper part but a slightly narrower lower part, suggests that you have a deep inner world but find it difficult to express emotions outwardly. As a result, those around you may find you hard to understand. Even in marriage, you struggle to express affection, sometimes appearing cold. This is one of your biggest challenges in relationships. You need to learn how to share and express yourself more so that your marriage can be more harmonious and long-lasting. Overall, this hand indicates that you are well suited for careers related to people, spirituality, and healing. If you follow this path, you will find peace and meaning in life. You tend to be extroverted, enjoy expressing yourself, and often like discussing philosophical or in-depth topics. Therefore, you have the potential to be a guide, teacher, or speaker. You enjoy standing in front of crowds to share your perspectives or simply love conversations and social interactions. As a result, fields related to guidance and knowledge sharing will be highly suitable for you. This year, you need to pay attention to your health. Your palm has many deep cut lines, along with uneven pigmentation and protrusions, indicating possible health issues that may affect your work and cause obstacles. Thus, the most important thing is to take care of your health first, so your career can progress smoothly and steadily. Additionally, your wrist lines are fragmented rather than continuous, suggesting that your younger years were filled with turbulence and that you were not destined for an easy life. Therefore, you must have resilience, determination, and confidence in yourself to achieve greater success in life. When combined with your left hand, some unfavorable signs appear. Your heartline has a major break, which indicates that you may experience difficulties in love, including a potential divorce or separation. Marriage may not be smooth, but on the bright side, your headline is clear, proving that you have strong willpower and an optimistic spirit, enabling you to overcome life's hardships. However, your lifeline appears scattered and faint, signaling that your health may decline as you age. Even now, you may feel that your body is not as strong as before. Therefore, your top priority should be maintaining good health before focusing on other aspects of life. Overall, your palm reflects a life filled with struggles and hardships, requiring you to take on many responsibilities. Your career path is not particularly stable, and your love life is also challenging. With this type of palm, you may get married twice. Therefore, be mindful of your relationships to avoid unnecessary emotional pain. This concludes my palm reading analysis. If you're watching this video, I wish you success and happiness in life. Thank you very much.